Hey guys, Ken Maxfield, the Hide Guy. Here's my market recap for week ending January the 4th. The first week of the year, of course, got off to a very slow start due to the New Year's Eve and New Year's holiday on Monday, Tuesday. According to the people we spoke to, the offer list by Packers appeared to be very similar to the actually the last few weeks. Many offers of jumbo and super jumbos, steer hides, various selections of those. We've been talking about that now going on almost maybe a couple months here. So, of course, lots of native steers. Also, lots of wet blue hides for sale as well. One interesting note, there wasn't nearly as many butts for sale this week, nor were there regular weight Texas steers. So maybe appearing that, these heavy hides, that's why there's not as many butts and at least Texas steers available for sale. As far as interest, people are telling me very lackluster last week. Seems like a lot of people took the week off, so to speak, whether they just weren't in the mind to do any business or there just wasn't anything really going on out there. Most of the people we talked to said they only had a handful of bids. The good news is there wasn't a lot of those bids that were, $5, $6, $7, $8 below the Packers asking price. So end of the day, I think that, obviously if you want to take less money, you could sold hides last week. Packers were reluctant to take less. So I don't think there was many hides exchanging hands last week. And very likely that Packers did not clear their production, even though we only saw a harvest of about 520,000 head. As far as the cowhide trade, very similar to what happened in the big Packer trade. There were not many, there were plenty of offers. Mostly unchanged. Seems like most of these producers on the cowhide side have gotten to the point where they're just sick and tired of taking less money. Several selections are to the point where they're almost breaking even. Many guys have told me they're going to refuse to lose money on hides, that they will either warehouse them or they will dispose of the hides. They will not produce hides and lose money. So as far as interest, like I said, in the big Packer market, wasn't a whole lot going on as far as bids. We saw in the big Packer market, the bids for cows weren't nearly as aggressive as they had been the last 2-3 weeks. Producers doing their best to hold things steady. So overall, trading levels were steady. I just don't think there's enough hides sold, and unlikely they sold a week's worth of production. Taking a quick trip around the globe, Europe, really don't change there. There continues to be plenty of hides for sale, lots of hides in warehouses. Sellers reluctant to take substantially lower prices. They'll trade it lower quietly, but again, they're trying to protect themselves. Maybe, $1 or $2 down. I heard some rumblings of maybe some product trading at $3 down, but again, those are unconfirmed rumors. But again, plenty of hides for sale in Europe. Doesn't matter the selection. They're all available. Go down to Brazil. The people I've talked to last week told me that prices were softer on wet blue. They were certainly softer on fresh hides. They have lots of hides for sale like everywhere else in the world. They are struggling to keep up with what's going on, and nothing really different than what the rest of the world is seeing. Finally, we'll take a look at Australia. They're finally into their holiday shutdowns. Many guys will be now closed for the next 2 to 3 weeks. Sellers breathe in a collective sigh of relief because even though they have this shutdown period happening, they're being forced to take lower money. They don't want to do it. They're fighting the market like everyone else is. So I'm just not aware of anybody who's selling hides anywhere in the world that is necessarily enjoying the market, unless you have hides that are destined for the luxury market. Those continue to move pretty well, but every other type of hide, and that's the majority of them, are struggling. We do not have a USDA export sales report again. That's the second week we haven't had it. The way things are set up, I doubt we're going to have one this Thursday. Checking around with a couple of people who are in the higher levels of the U.S. government, they have been told to prepare for the worst as far as the shutdown, that they were giving indications this could be going on for several weeks. Let's hope not. Let's hope these men and women in Washington can put their differences aside, get some compromises made, get these folks back to work and get some of these reports done. So that's as far as next week. I'm thinking this week you're going to see plenty of offers again. I don't buy into the fact of anybody advertising they've got strong sold forward positions. I think buyers with money who can take shipment according to the preferences of the seller will be able to negotiate prices. That said, if prices are going to change, I think the likelihood of prices going higher is, I will never say none, but it's very minimal. If they are going to change, I look for them to probably drift lower. So that's it for now. Ken Maxwell, the Hide Guy. Check out my website, www.themaxwellreport.com. I do offer 14-day, no obligation free trials. Just scroll down the bottom of the page, click on that, take advantage of it. Until next week, we'll see you then.